Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings. We are on December 21, 2025. We are during the winter solstice time, and we have the weekly meeting, divine-gpms.org, with representants and also guardians all over the world, and Rick George, founder of GPMS, still living in Romania. So, Rick, there are so many dates right now, like December 19, that it is about the three atlas. That right now the people over the internet, they link three atlas with the Hopi prophecy on December 21, 2025. We have also the Sphinx in Romania, where you are exactly in Bucegi Mountain, that the people link the Sphinx event of December 21, 2025 with the fifth dimension, new earth, and a new beginning. And we see the people all over the world, they return to God. Many of them, they are speaking about Christianity. Also, a lot of them in China, other they recognize direct spirituality. But anyway, it is about the Christ, the Jesus Christ. There are a lot of messages over the internet in this way. And I saw also, like in the last 24 hours, a publication like 22 volcanoes erupted all over the world. And basically the people recognize three atlas as a celestial sign that it's making the end of a world, of a cycle, and the beginning of another. So this is starting all over the world, and the people start to gather and to recognize Christ consciousness. Please, can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because we have also right now the science people that they recognize the existence of God, but at the same time we know that the darkness is still playing a role. So they are still not speaking about divine-gpms.org. The link is not there yet. So what is happening? And what are the news for the ascension during these divine times?
Great, thank you, sister. I'll begin with, let's say, the hype around Three Eye Atlas, but let's say the righteous good hype with it. What it is bringing together is a prophecy, revelation, scripture, if you will, and that's significant. It's bringing the people together with a general recognition that it is significant. And having said this, also worldwide, you see the Christ revival, and this is the Christ consciousness. And it is so important as well. And the way that reality, that God and Christ at least actually works is that there is that constant omnipresence, which is so important. And what this means is that God and let's say representation of God, Jesus, is everywhere at once. And this is how reality and creation actually works. And this is why humanity is at the mercy of this super natural force, which is God, and it's very real. And again, it's inscribed in everything that you can see externally on this earth and also internally. So when you when you go to science and medicine, and even physics, they cannot find the full truth without adding that abstract element of the source of all of this. And again, the source is Creator and God, so it cannot be excluded. Having said this, it is picking up more and more that the individual visitations with spiritual beings, uh, and let's say more predominantly the Christ representation himself to individuals, is causing in very good ways a great revival, because what this is taking out of the equation is the doubt by significant individuals. So as more and more individuals get visited personally with this, they know they are saying that it's not something with their mind. They know it's very real. And what this does, it establishes beyond the reason of a doubt that God is real and true, and also Christ. But then also, when they look around the world with all of the signs happening, they so conveniently and easily connect the dots to know that yes, this is true, what it was written about the end times, but also the new beginning of what Divine-gpms.world is. So it's a great alignment, what you see occurring, uh, occurring more feverishly in a very good way in the last few weeks. And this is another very good sign that we have been waiting for. As with uh, uh, Comet Atlas 3I. And as with anything that I say, there are some things that I don't know in the open consciousness that I can't, let's say, elaborate on at times. And there's also things that I do know that divinely I'm not allowed to. I'm told not to, because everything is impeccably divinely kind with what is to be released. Having said this, with 3i Atlas, my conscious information here is somewhat what I would call limited. I feel, and from that feeling, know that there is much more without being given the intricate details of how much more it is. And as we said last week, December 19th, was and is very significant, but from here on forward, even more significant. What you're looking at with NASA and scientists and, let's say, the darkness, no, they do not give the public all of the real details. And this is still the case with the positioning right now of 3i Atlas. Within a matter of days, it is going to be in orbit around Earth, whether it's seen there or not. You need to understand that 3i Atlas, not only is it a celestial body, it is a multi-dimensional body. And with this, simply one of the meanings of multi-dimensionality is being in more than one place at the same time. And this also equates back to what I said about Christ, if you will, worldwide at any given time, right on the very second, there could be 100 that are having interactions with Christ simultaneously, because the way that humanity looks at time and space, it is a closed circuit for them, that they do not understand fully the multi-dimensional proportions, how creation actually works, and also the soul aspect, if you will. And the soul never dies. So without I going too much further into that, I'll take the liberty of just bringing up, I do reference quotes in the Bible, if you will, at times. And because with the Bible, with the Quran, with prophecy, if you will. There are many truths as well as things at times get distorted and manipulated. But it does not matter how much manipulation is in any written seated text. There is always the core truth and the core value to be taken from that. So, having said this, Ephesians, written by Paul, Ephesians 6, chapter 6, the last chapter in the book, verse 12. And perhaps I'll read that to all verbatim, or I have it brought up here. What I'll do is just read what I brought up just on a search for it. So Ephesians 6:12 states that the struggle of believers is not against human opponents, but against spiritual forces of evil. The verse emphasizes that the true enemies are not flesh and blood, but rather the rulers against the authorities, against the powers of this world's darkness, and again against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. The spiritual battle involves a hierarchy of evil entities, including rulers, authorities, cosmic powers, and spiritual forces of wickedness operating in the unseen realm. The phrase flesh and blood is understood to refer to mere human power, not the ultimate source of opposition, which is spiritual in nature. The verse serves as a foundational statement for the concept of spiritual warfare, reminding believers that their conflict is not physical, but supernatural, requiring reliance on God's armor and spiritual preparedness. So, what I wish to say with that, I just read it off as a AI search that I just quickly did to see the interpretation of the AI out there with it. Now, what I need to point out, and this is very significant. So within that, what they quote is against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. This no longer serves what was perceived as evil in the heavenly realms was the fourth dimensional space, which we are currently in. So it was an abstract part of space that the darkness was drawing, let's say, simply their black magic from, to control and keep haul the wool over the sheep's eyes, if you will. So while humanity was in the third dimensional space, the evil was drawing their power from the next space above, the fourth dimension. But even though it was the fourth dimension, it's not the heavenly realm. The heavenly realm does not begin until the fifth dimension. So, having said this, it was a misconception for humanity to think it was a heavenly realm. It is actually the top level of purgatory, of hell, of this dimension, if you will, connected to the fourth dimension. The third and fourth were connected, and they always were for through antiquity for humanity. And this was the battle, if you will, between the third and fourth for humanity to rise into that equal place so that the final battle could be won and the deliverance of humanity into the fifth dimensional space with the darkness left behind in their fourth dimensional space. So I need to make this clear that there are no evil forces in heaven, and it should not be looked at in that way. And of course, with the Bible, any prophecies written through antiquity, they were written to get us to this time, if you will. So they were seeded. They were seeded scripts, seeded knowledge. However, there comes a time that they were only there to bring us to now. And what we are, or to 2012 linear year, and what we've been doing since 2012 is literally writing a new Bible as well, if you wish, and if you will. So I needed to make this clear without going too much further in it, but also I will conclude with, just give me a moment. I will conclude with, so what you're seeing is that GPMS is the divine instrument. It is a full part of this final spiritual battle where humanity's given the choice to what they side with. And each one's choice is so important because it is the decisive deciding factor on if they go forward or if they remain behind on the imploding 55-year linear timeline, what is left for the darkness to fully, it has to serve out its period on a 55-year timeline, but we are not part of it. We embark and are already bifurcated on this higher timeline that does not experience the implosion and apocalypse. We advance humanity forward. And this is why, I say to ones, don't fight this darkness, because the more, unless you're distinctly divinely told to, and I need to make that clear because there is the battle right now with Sister Nya with the darkness, but what we're actually doing is using it as a springboard to bring in the higher divine law for the timeline and to save the children, if you will, and the innocents that are going forward. So choices play a very important role in this. And I am just but one teacher here on earth to that effect. There are many teachers and many written things to seed and to instill the core values which were necessary for purification to advance into this new reality where evil and negativity doesn't exist. So, on the individual basis, each one had to make the higher, purest uh, decisions and choices because this determined where they're placed on the timeline. And this is where the great judgment comes in. There are ones that were already condemned through antiquity, but these ones had to rise, come to the scenes now to be judged, and they had to be judged in front of the people as well. So it was a determining factor. You'll have spirit ones that'll speak spiritually. They'll talk the talk, but they will not walk it because these are what were called as the false prophets, if you will, but also the fallen ones. So when you heard all would be awakened for this time, what you are seeing is the reincarnated darkness that was there in human souls or human bodies, I should say. But their time for judgment is also here, and their judgment is seen through their actions, through their deeds, what they align with, and of course, their choices. And that's how they are revealed with the revelations. And each individual has been given many chances when they are awakened. That is the beginning of their 7-year trial and tribulation on the individual level to quickly go through their experiences and to integrate more of their divinity, but also to apply the higher choices and higher actions always as they rise out of their suppression by the darkness, that fear that was instilled within them. So they have to make a choice, either let the darkness control them with the capitalistic beast system and artificial laws, or say, no, I stand with God and I trust with God, and these things are not right, and I will not obey them nor align with them. This is not morality. So, for the simple thing, example, in Austria, what they're doing with the children, no, we do not consent, we do not approve, and we do not support nor condone this in any way, shape, or form. So through the process of Sister Nya and I putting this out constantly to the people, we're so happy to find recently that we're finding more awakened brothers and sisters that were like hid in the closet. They did not want to reveal their divinity and their experiences because they were afraid of ridicule in the past. But what we're seeing is now they're coming together and beginning to unite. So this is a huge determining factor that expedites the overall implosion, not only of the Austrian government and all of the sinister acts and deeds with the children, what they were doing. This is only, Austria is only a micro example of worldwide. So there is the flash chain reaction that occurs. I'll stop there. I see Brother Dave has been waiting patiently. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wish to add and augment what you've stated here, Brother Rick. When somebody says that everything is under divine timing, often the first response for those who don't maybe aren't aware is, well, what about the pain? And the unique circumstance that we're under right now is number one is enhanced disclosure. And enhanced disclosure brings forth, it's hard to believe, but amazing atrocities against our brothers and sisters at the hand of other brothers and sisters. And I won't go into details. Some of it just turns your gut. The atrocities that are being shown now, and that's there for a reason, so that we can wake up, of course. But the thing that I wish to address primarily in the in the divine timing aspect is that we all come here, often most of us laden with karmic propensity and karmic dispositions. And so we actually we learn and gain and grow from that pain that we've sort of signed on for, so to speak. And that's pretty tough for people when you say, well, yeah, the pain is there because we've asked for it. But that is the absolute truth. We learn from pain. We don't learn from a fancy life with Maseratis and $1 million income a year. We learn from the opposite of that. And so that may again be hard for some people to understand, but I have personal experience and reflections on just what my karma was and the pain that I have endured in this lifetime. So it's not a claim that I'm making that lacks experiential evidence and conditioning. So I just wanted to add that because it's absolutely disgusting now, the stuff that's going on that we're being shown against our brothers and sisters, and the only way to understand it, especially when it comes to the children, is to realize that we're here for these lessons, And the only other thing that's premier in this explanation is that we're moving to a spot where karma is going to be moved off the planet. I could go on for a couple hours on that as well. Obviously, I won't. But the underlying factor there is that Mother Gaia is basically had enough of our karmic shenanigans, you might say. It's all fine and dandy to learn by karma, but Mother Gaia is taking it on the chin as well. And so Mother Gaia will not be disposed of in this process, essentially, is the bottom line. And she will be restored, obviously, immediately once GPMS comes in. But this is the overall process that Gaia will be restored, and the karma cycle is moved off the planet, which is inherent to the eternal light and life process, or if you will, the establishment of the kingdom of heaven on earth. So that's just the summary of it, and how to deal with these nightmare pain disclosures that we come across every day now. So that's about all I wish to say in augmenting your message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Dave. And I always love this when others add in their comments and additions, because it opens up for a very fruitful, divine, continuous elaboration, if you will, and collaboration. So it's so important for any and all to speak at times, and this time is not unlike that. What I wish to just say quickly is that yes, what one's looked at as karma, if you will, it's to be looked at that these were tests, part of your trials and tribulation that you would persevere over, and of course mastered, because it had to be um, seeing and knowing how to apply the proper choices. And this time has been ordained, if you will. It's been divinely secured and prescribed since, more notably, the linear year 2012, as we said. So it's during the course of that each one's journey, what used to be a typical spiritual journey that would usually occur at the human age of 49, the age was taken right out of this in 2012. And this is why you're seeing so many youth and young people so knowledgeable and already on a full-fledged spiritual journey. Um, so with that, that is so important for one's to know that no, you are not sent here to serve karma, that you did something bad. It's not about that. It's about the tests and applying the higher and right choices as you keep spiraling upward. With every right and higher pure choice you make, you raise in your own divinity. Or it is also true to say that you bring more of your divinity into this reality. And that is what causes the lift. With what Dave said, and I'll keep this short, what Dave said with we can restore, we will. I won't say we can, I will say we will restore the pristineness of in the sanctity and tranquility of Mother Gaia as a whole. And this can be done instantly, yes, in the blink of an eye. Not only does GPMS.world provide all of the tools and the instruments to do it physically and manually, also by the majority agreeing it creates an energetic vehicle that defies what human physics knows yet. However, they have certain physicists do know this to a certain degree, meaning that the combined energetics of the majority shifts reality. And what we're looking at is these huge numbers with GPMS that, yes, can change reality fully, meaning that you could be sitting in a city and the next day you could be in that same spot, but looking at a beautiful beach or perhaps like what's behind eye. And and this is not unreasonable nor unconventional to say this from any that are spiritually inclined and on their journey and that have entered the multidimensional portions, meaning that they have had profound experiences here on Earth where they actually walk into different realities. So it's already prescribed and seeded here that it is very real. And this is where you get some of the flashpoint analogy from, that you wake up in a totally different world. Because, yes, this is very real, that we can shift reality. And if you wish to perspect it from a place of parallel universes or timelines, that's perfectly fine too, because it actually and factually describes what will and can occur, whether it occurs instantaneously or it's done almost instantly, physically and manually. It does not matter. It gets done. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, Dave.
I just wish to add one more nugget to this conversation train. With regards to the pain, like I can't even believe it, what the stuff that's being out there now. But the critical thing to add is that there's a very large number of empaths amongst us right now. They form the fundamental substrate of this awakening, in that their energy is critical for the greater whole to move this ball into the end zone, so to speak. And so it's critical for the empaths, particularly because I happen to live with one, and I have a few friends also throughout this last 6 years who are also very empathic. And it's critical for these folks to protect themselves. I mean, most of them already know this. They have to kind of mitigate or attenuate the information that is out there. It's just not good. I could give you examples. I know I have one empath who lives down in the southern states right now, and the atrocities down there. It's very hard on her, and so for those who may be able to use that information, the empaths, yeah, you gotta kind of protect yourself and preserve your own strength and quality for this, because you're needed in a very huge way. So I just wanted to add that it's important as we move forward and reestablish a new concept of what actual freedom and peace and abundance lives on for this planet. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. Exactly as you said, to enhance disclosure. This is very, very important. At the same time, I would say the disclosure is never complete when we do not address the solution. And I will give an example for everyone to see at this point. For example, I just found over the internet from a good freedom fighter saying that right now the cross-border United States with Canada, but in general, United States. We'll be looking for some people on 5 years social media. So this is nothing new. This was running also in the past. We can say thank you so much for disclosure to remember, to know the real reason when you go to the border why you are rejected, not their invoke reason as false law, artificial common law. At the same time, we do not see the solution as divine-gpms.org there. Then only when we enhance disclosure, we do not show the solution, so the solution does not happen yet. And we let the people to pass away. So I would like for all the people that they are working on disclosure to start to show divine-gpms.org solution 2. It is also sharing the website. On social media will be posted also on the second website as the community divine-gpms.org. Some hundreds of photos soon. So please just share on your social media. It does not matter what the border is saying. This happened also a long time ago, so this is not a new news. And make GPMS to happen, because this is the real way. This is the real way to end the pain, exactly as Dave said. Many of us are learning through the pain. Some they resonate because they are empath and they want to make something to work. At the same time, when I'm speaking with freedom fighters, they still do not realize divine-gpms.org is too high for them to see. And they are happy that the people still listen their video. But I said, as Rick mentioned too, the people are still only on the 4th dimension. So if the people listen you in so much number, I would say your message is probably not exactly divine-gpms.org. So you need a little bit to change your message. Then when we address the correct message to the people in general, and when the people will start to hear and see GPMS everywhere, this will help all the people to realize the real solution is here, then GPMS is happening. So my point of view is to share the solution how much you can. So weekly, daily, how much you can. Rick, I saw a post very, very important on Facebook. It is about God that sent us a message. So for everyone to see exactly what you posted, the earth part of the mission, it's almost over. So this was a message from God. Right now I received some comments about, and also a question, because the people are saying the earth part of the mission, it's almost over. So it is only the earth what it is to the surface, or also the inner earth, or so we have also the underground, and we have the underground facility. So what it is exactly the message, because your communication with God, it's very direct and very clear, but not for everyone.
Yes, sister. Thank you. Yes, for bringing this up. What I do periodically is I have a communion with Father, if you will, that I speak directly with Father. So this day I went up onto the plateau, and what I was asking is, with this planetary mission, if you will, with GPMS and the overall ascension, is what else can I do? Is there anything that I may be missing that we can do at this time? And just with a gentle collaboration open with Father. And so with this, this was his reply that the Earth mission, if you will, is almost finished. It's almost done. And I didn't ask him when the mission would be done. I asked him, what else can I do? What else can we do, to get this done quicker? And with his smile, somewhat like Sister Beatrice's smile there right now, he smiles and says this that we're almost done. What does almost? How do you put that into time? I cannot tell you that. Because time does not exist really for us and for God as well. So, but nevertheless, it does mean we're very close, and each of us, even though with the numbers on GPMS, it still may look like it's a long way away. At any moment, it can go viral with it. So, and it is inevitable. We know this, and everything is aligning and is setting up for even a more substantiated reason to believe and to know that at any moment this can and will go viral. Will it be by December 31st, as what Father said was likely? I don't know. Again, having said that, in the blink of an eye, miracles can happen as well. So, and when we again put all of the dots together, a lot what we spoke about here in the meeting, we do know that it's getting very close with it. So, yeah, so I had to share that. So I was looking up at a perfectly blue, clear sky, and when I was laying down and looking straight up, and I said, "All right, Father, I want to speak, if you will, and connect." And then the white heart cloud formed first, and then I said, "All right, the door's open," and then out of that white heart, then it went into a face, depicting Father, and then we were speaking, but also not to uh, divulge everything what was spoken about. There's also the galactic component and several other things. Um, I'm incarnated here on Earth, what looks like as a physical vessel, but it's not fully a human vessel. And it's also, I need to say that with all of you, because really internally you have advanced at least to some degree beyond the specifications of a human anatomy, even if you do not know it, or if you do, it is occurring. And so, having said that, yeah, if that answered it, and that was very good. This time I was able to get some photos. Sometimes with my interaction with the Father and the spiritual realms, the galactic realms, sometimes you'll take pictures and it won't even come out, or sometimes if you go to take a picture, it will vanish, so you can't get one. So it's how it works, and some things are able to be shared and revealed and shown, and some things are not. And one of my things when I came when my divinity come down into this physical vessel here on earth when it was time, is that I requested always to speak freely and do freely what I needed to do. And to ensure that I didn't make any mistakes, it's governed by divine counsel that oversees also everything I do and regulates it as well, just to share with you all so that I can speak freely and I don't need to be questioning what's coming out, if you will, or thinking a lot, because sometimes there are the frugal slips of things that maybe should not be out there, but what occurs is ones don't hear it or it doesn't come out. So just to share with you that I remain in the utmost place of integrity and clarity with my submissions and purveyances to all of our brothers and sisters that are at different levels of their awakening and preparation for this. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, so thank you so much, Rick. Lodi, what it is new in Philippines, especially during the so-called end of the year?
Hello. Hello, everyone. Um, for I think today and yesterday, I have a rest, quite a rest from encoding and editing the names from Palawan and other groups that are sending me the master list to be encoded on the website. And I'm here currently at Tagaytay City. It is the wedding day of my son. And I would just like to share that yesterday when we came here, the whole day it is raining. It's raining heavily. But this morning, the sun came out and the universe gave us a very great day to celebrate the wedding. And what I have observed during the ceremony, the candlelight, it is a garden wedding, so it is very windy here right now, and I'm outside of the room. And during the wedding, the lighted candle, even though it is very windy and the light is almost going out, magically it continues to burn that single candle the whole time that the ceremony is ongoing. The wind is really trying to stop the light of that little candle, but it persisted until the ceremony was done. So I was thinking that it is a kind of a message that really the light has won, and we are now in this time that we are almost done with our mission, and currently we are currently in the times that the whole world will be enlightened and awakened to what is really happening, especially the Divine GPMS global referendum. I can feel that it is very near its virality point. And so I am happy and looking forward to its fruition and implementation very, very soon. I'm so happy. I am still feeling that very light energy that in this place where I am in now, really love is overflowing. And that's all I can share for now. But I'm just feeling the love, that love is in the air and the whole wild world and the universe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lodi, especially because in the last time we had another couple of thousand of consents from Philippines. So Thank you so much for your work and for all other people work that are also coming on the weekly meeting, given that in Philippines it is during the night time. We have Josephine Rodriguez and also Anselma BA here from Philippines, and our brother Aziz all the time from India. Even that there is a barrier language, it does not matter. He's all the time present. So thank you so much for everyone that it is here. Rick, we have already some comments and also question. First one, it is from Arlene Penwell. What Bible do you recommend? As I hear you, you are saying right now it is a Bible that will be written, but the people are waiting to see one in physical to be possible to be read. So, what Bible do you recommend? This is the question.
That is a great question. You know, really to answer it, I would suggest don't rely just on one source. Meaning you you don't have, I know, much time to look into all of the faiths, but it's good to be mixed with it. If you're looking at anything now, let's say in the Bible, let's take the New Testament and the Old One, but look at Matthew, the book of Matthew, look at Revelations, which is in the New Testament, look at Hopi prophecy as well, which is very significant, and then look at some of the core principles that is established in Buddhism, uh, as an example. Um, Also, it's important to what you're looking for is the core values and the guidance, if you will. So anything to that effect, and let me say it's not limited to those few I just mentioned. In many indigenous teachings and Aboriginal teachings, the truth that is closer to creation and for a better alignment is found throughout these teachings. So if you wish a Bible, Isaiah, Matthew, Revelations, even some in Luke is important. But you also wish to look at what is not in the Bible, what was omitted, and you want to go into the gnosis and the divine teachings and begin to go more into that. There is the book of Grandma Anna, which is Jesus's grandmother. It's written by a lady, I think her name is Claire, but I forget her last name. And she wrote this in 2002 with her connection to Grandma Anna of Jesus. So it's a very good book. It mentions the Essenes, and the initiation of Christ, which connects more of the metaphysical with, let's say, the pyramids, the time in Egypt. But you also wish to look into the book of Thomas, which was omitted, which is important. But also, and very importantly, you should be looking at the scripture of Mary Magdalene and the feminine scriptures that were intentionally omitted out of the Bible as well. Because remember, your Bible was for the most part patriarchal inspired, and it omitted a lot of the feminine aspects out of it. And importantly, as well, this occurred through antiquity, and even in the early days with the Romans, I always loved this, is the Sabine women in Italy that were oracles of God, if you will, and how the Roman Empire came and uh, stole and kidnapped these women to take them for their own wives, if you will. And it was a very huge abuse on them. And the ones that would not go, they were direct oracles connected to God, and what they would give would they would channel the truth. And let's say they were greatly revered, but also greatly feared by the Romans, and part of what was set up to begin to create the Roman Catholic Church. So it was a precedent to eliminate any of the feminine truth and contribution to that, to establish the patriarchal rule and also the dominion by using religion, if you will. But I won't go deeper into that. So it's important, yeah, just don't look all in one place and use your discernment feature, because in the Bible and perhaps any of the scripture or prophecy, you're going to find something that doesn't resonate, but you're fully adept at discerning what is truth and what applies to you at any certain time, but also to compile a foundation to build on, if you will. And this is not to say that in the moment when you're reading something in the Bible or in prophecy that doesn't resonate in the moment, don't throw it away, because what you may find is that later on during your journey, you'll come back to the same thing, but you'll see it in a higher light, in a different way. And then you know it has relevance to bring it in and to attach it to your divine foundation that you are building. So don't let it be tricky on you, and be objective, meaning that yes, if something doesn't resonate at the moment, you use your discernment feature and say that that just does not apply, but don't exclude it. Don't draw a conclusion on it that it's not truth, because it may come back into play later. And if you're to draw a conclusion on something that, let's say, doesn't resonate, doesn't feel like truth, but possibly could be, don't draw a conclusion on that, because if you do, it may be a higher part of a higher truth that you need. And if you draw a conclusion that it isn't, it could prevent you from going higher. Excuse me. The coughing and some of the allergies with this physical vessel have been heightened today, but it's because of some of the good food I ate yesterday. Uh, so importantly with that, yes, if that answers your question, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Rick. We have also another question. It is about Amanda Tamasauskas. Yesterday, someone sent me a message stating Austria announced it will be leaving the Europe, so EU. So this is the Europe group of the country that they are keeping together as Europe Union.
Well, yeah,
I
you know,
wonder immediately, yeah, she said, I wonder immediately if it had to do with Rick and Nia divine work there. I think yes.
yes, and I think I answered this the other week, but yes, it does. See, what has happened is there's a huge problem right now with all of the countries in the European Union as well, because Austria is a part of it. But where Austria is being self-incriminated by their non-compliance with law, but more seriously being exposed for the harm to the children what it is doing is placing all of the other countries of the European Union into a sort of jeopardy and bewilderment where they don't know what to do. Instead of doing the right thing so far, these other countries of the European Union should have stood up instantly and sanctioned Austria. But because, excuse me again, because unbeknownst to, let's say, the rest of the countries in the European Union, the ones that are leading this, they do not know that an ascension is occurring. And they are just beginning to feel the ripple effects of divine law that is divine law has the priority. So in their bewilderment and in their confusion, they think of separating. And these are dark tactics. Typically, when a part of the darkness is exposed, they have no compassion for each other. They throw it to the wolves, if you will, to get rid of it, because it exposes the tactics in the agenda. So let me just say, yeah, simply, yes, it is, because this is, it cannot be contained what we're exposing, and not only in Austria, worldwide with what actually has been occurring with the intentional harm against the children, but all of the and child service workers, case workers, but in Austria and also in Germany, Switzerland, and Hungary, this is rippling outward. These are the same tactics, and in the US, Norway, they're all the same criminal tactics that are used to get the children. So, yes, it's all being unraveled and exposed. Thank you.
I have a comment from Dave. Probably it was an answer to what kind of the Bible it is recommended, and his answer is King James Version. Um, Also, I would like to say that I saw a lot of posts coming right now about the prayers that were discovered inside of the Vatican. I knew for years that the true Bible or writing of Jesus was hidden there and kept there. And right now it seems could be a sort of discovery about the prayers that he wrote. And the people are like asking what kind of the prayer they should use. But as I know, you posted via GPMS prayers and ways how to for the people how to interact and to attract good from universe and everything. Please, can you describe a little bit more, because this is also a question from the people. What kind of the prayers, meditation, what can help more them in order to, as also Dave mentioned about the pain, basically to release the pain and to move towards in a good direction and to attract benefits from the universe.
Before going into the prayer, I'll just give a little bit on, yes, what the Vatican did. They stole as much of the real teachings of Christ, if you will, and importantly, the keys for individual divinity and empowerment. So they stole these and kept them locked up so that they could maintain the control over humanity. However, they did not get them all. The ancient scripts were, let's say, somewhat preserved, but not all of it. And to divinely ensure this great time of awakening, the scrolls and scripts are coming to the light, but also the divine ones, such as I and perhaps all of you as well, with your divine connection in information, in purveyance of knowledge into this now is completing the knowledge required to ascend out of this old control and suppression. So it's divinely ascertained that you're getting it in more than one way, and that all of the human souls are getting it because this is the time of the full emancipation of humanity, which involves full freedom, wealth, and the beautiful going to the peaceful world right here on earth, if you will. We're creating that, and that's said in the Bible, if you will, and also in Hopi prophecy that it's not actually no one um, leaving here to go to heaven. We're bringing heaven right to earth, and that's the way to look at it. With any prayer, it's all about the genuine intent. So it's important when one's asked what prayers, it comes from your heart what you wish to say in your prayer, and don't restrict it and let it flow, because your intent is your prayer that is being vocalized out into reality. But it's very important not to use prayers for self gain. You don't wish to begin to manifest a lot of money or something for you. That is not in divine alignment. Your strongest prayers are those prayers for others, other souls, brothers and sisters, not for the darkness. They are not worthy of prayer, and they do not go forward. Any that prays for darkness, you're actually energizing them and keeping them in reality, and you're actually weaponizing the enemy by doing so. So you use your discernment and you pray for all brothers and sisters, the new reality, the heaven on earth, or whatever you feel to do. And when you pray, speak it out loud. You have a voice for a reason, and it interacts with reality, with the universe. It is harmonics. It has a resonance that directly affects reality. And the purer that your intent is in your goodness and righteousness, the more effect it has on reality. So don't put yourself to any prayer that another may have unless it resonates, but trust more in your prayer, your genuine, authentic prayer from yourself in communication, conjunction with Mother, Father, God, and what you wish to purvey outward. That's what I suggest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. This is extremely important, especially during the Merry Christmas time, because many people are using prayers right now. I wish for them also to use meditation and to believe on everything that it is good, God. This may help a lot. And also to look a little bit on your post on Facebook and also on the Telegram account as the replacement system, because this is GPMS, then they will find also prayer there. And for all the people that they are still keeping the Merry Christmas, the true date of Jesus' as birthday, you mentioned maybe probably March 13, not exactly December 25. So what really happened with all these dates and that created the so-called end of the year, and also Merry Christmas and all the spirit that the people recognize, and it is recognized by the B system.
Well, thank you. Let me first say let's say, Christmas, celebrating Christ. It doesn't matter if that's on the 25th of December or March 13th. Ideally, it'd be good for everyone to celebrate Christ every year, until everyone is all Christed, or every day until everyone is all Christed themselves. So it is great that it's accepted for Christ to be, let's say, celebrated on December 25th. It doesn't really matter the real birth date of Christ. It's about the intent again. And, with this, to go a little bit into the past, is one of the reasons why it was put in December was, again, and this date was an attempt to control humanity and to set an agenda. But also, what one needs to realize, and also, let's say, look at the Sabbath, if you will, which is recognized as Saturday with, let's say, the Jewish community, which kept Saturday because that's what Jesus had practiced as the Sabbath day was Saturday rather than Sunday. But what we wish to look at, through the years with the changing of, let's use the leap year, what that does every 4 years, it adds a day. And by doing this over the course of 28 years, then the actual day that coincides with the beginning of time, when you go right back to Genesis, um, then it takes every 28 years, wherever that actual day might be, to come in its proper placement in the calendar. I'm not saying this to confuse, but what I am saying is that one's actually began to, let's say, practice the Sabbath day, or even to practice a birthday, which they think is on a prescribed assigned calendar day, but it may not be. But it doesn't matter about the day. It's about the intent and the expression of that divine intent out. So don't one's, unless you wish to get caught up into the complexity, trying to cipher the actual Sabbath day from the beginning of time, because you're not going to find that. And also, you could spend a lot of time wasting time on trying to find it when really it doesn't have any pertinence. And importantly now, just be in the now, celebrate the Sabbath day. What I say when you suggest, when you have most that are celebrating it on Saturday or Sunday, that's still good because it's a unified effort with the intent. And it's about, again, about the intent. It doesn't really at this time matter what day that it is of the week. It's about the intent, if that answered it. Thank you.
Yes, Eric, please, can you tell us a little bit about the 5D, fifth dimension light work? Because you advance all the time. We saw a lot of coordinates that you post. It is a lot of work in place. What is happening?
I believe they're referring to the fifth dimensional grid, white light ley line grid that we're constructing.
Yes.
This is divine architecture. It's not, it's being created in the fifth dimension, connected to this fourth, because it's an ascension step, but it's being created from the interaction of others, like any of you that participate, by connecting with your higher divinity and creating this next world that resides on the fifth dimensional dynamics and mechanics. So this needs to be in place. It is the governing grid of energetic ley lines, which dictates what occurs on Earth. And these ley lines are all positive oriented. They are on an ever changing algorithm, which means they can never be compromised again, and that it establishes the full harmonic reality. When you look at the old third dimensional ley line grid, that was all figured out. If, for example, if you can draw perfect triangles of about 1,000 and perhaps 33 miles uh, between, let's say, Stonehenge, the Great Pyramids, and another structure I just don't recall right now. But if you're to do that on a map, you would see exactly to these ancient sites all around Gaia worldwide that you have an exact measurement in miles of these equilateral triangles. And this is what part of the darkness had figured out. So once they had one triangle mapped and measured, then easily they could find all of the other triangles with the ley lines in it. And then what they would do is then like the old nefarious churches or what have you, and sinister satanic ceremonies and child sacrifice, they would perform these on these ley lines because a ley line is an energetic line that dictates what happens in reality until it uh, until reality is influenced by another ley line that's over here. So let's say these are two ley lines, energetic ley lines that dictates the polarity of what happens in reality. So when both of these ley lines are positive, they create everything in between them to be positive and harmonious. What the darkness had did is they knew of this knowledge, so they would negate both ley lines, energetic ley lines, which dictated what would happen in reality. Excuse me again. So once they did that and they loved child sacrifice because the children were innocent, and by putting the children into deep fear, they would produce so much negative fear energy into the ley line. So when you had this ley line and this ley line energized with so much fear because of sacrifice and negativity, then the main controlling energy between these two ley lines was fear energy. And what fear energy does to the consciousness, it lowers the consciousness, it makes humanity obey all of the suppression, and it takes away humanity's willingness to fight against suppression and oppression and conformity. So what we are doing in this great time, the fifth dimensional grid comes in. It is the dominant divine energy, and it replaces that entire old 3D grid. So with any of the grid workers and energetic workers, what was accepted before as let's say also earth chakras, where a lot of grid work was directed towards. Some of these chakras are no longer there. Energetic chakras are in these places. For example, with one of the great places was the Giza pyramid complex, where most of the leaders on Earth would go to interact and to control the energies there for the darkness. And that was so contaminated that we had to shift that nodule out into the desert to another pyramid that has not surfaced yet. But we had to replace that chakra into uh, out into the desert. Uh, I'm making sure I don't say something I'm not supposed to. I'm allowed to say that. This pyramid also will be uncovered, and there was, I believe, a few have been covered, but a few years ago there were 72 significant pyramids in Egypt alone that were buried under the sand. But I think two, perhaps over the last several years, have begun to emerge out of the sand and are, if it's not publicly released yet, that two more have been found, but I haven't looked to see if it's been public. So everything on Earth, as everyone knows as well, it goes, oh, excuse me, also through a cycle. That's why you have the underwater cities and why you also have in high areas where the ocean used to be. And these are archaeological finds that are established and accepted worldwide too. I'll stop there.
Thank you so much that you reveal how much you can, because I know that you cannot say everything that you know at this time. This will come when the time will be. But also you spoke about the Stargate, the 18 Stargate that reside in Romania that was opened 2 years ago. And right now you mentioned that it is the time to open the 19 Stargate that resides also in Romania too. And you are located in Romania for years and working there. What it is about with this Stargate, because not everybody on Earth is able to understand Stargate, what is really happening, what happened 2 years ago. If another one it's open, what will be the impact?
All right. Without giving all of the details, let's say its timing is connected to 3i Atlas. It is connected and to gravitational and electromagnetic forces. And by the way, I'll say it here that all air navigation um, should be examined at this time. All GPS units, all flight instruments, and also there may possibly need to be some groundings as the gravel electromagnetic field is once again shifted worldwide. And I don't know if some of you know, but I have put out prior, not warnings, of information letting uh, the flight, letting, what's the word, Father? Letting all the aircraft know that their instruments may not be reliable, despite that they also rely on satellite GPS units simply because everything is being affected, meaning that navigational tools during this great time are not 100% reliable like they might have been a few years ago, because all of the determining factors with the placement in space and time and navigation are in constant flux. But with the Stargate 19, you can look at on base 10 math with from 1 to 10, then you start over with 11, which is base 10 math, which is different from base 12 math. But without getting into that, if you look at Stargate 1-9, you have 1 as the beginning and 9 as the ending, so you can apply alpha and the omega as well. So it also is connected to a Genesis effect. And yes, Stargate 18 was opened um, in Alba County, Romania, but also Stargate 17 was opened in Austria a few years ago before this whole incident. And Stargate 19 is when I wrote this the other day, I wanted it to be open now, but Stargate 19, but Father said almost ready, not yet. So I had to put almost in the lines there. But let me say, on the high divine architectural, energetic, and creational levels, these things are very, very real, and it's part of the divine architecture that occurs on a high level for those that engage with. So there's many grid workers, um, that are energetic grid workers that are divinely delegated to do this work on Earth. And it's not imaginary fantasy work, it's actually real. But for a human consciousness, they might think it's not real, which is perfectly fine. But for us that do it, we know the real truth and reality of it. So with Stargate 19, it coincides with 3i Atlas because, again, there are certain energetics that are playing out on Earth. Different laws of physics apply. As I put Earth also in alignment with this ascension is entering a space and time that it has not been close to for about 250 million linear years. So much has changed since Earth has been in this cycle, this cosmic, let's say, galaxy cycle with the solar system and how it moves through the galaxy. But the whole galaxy as well is moving towards Andromeda, which is very important, which is a mother dimensional, creational uh, universe or galaxy, if you will. So, without overcomplicating it, yes, these things we do, even though you might not see any readily confirmations out there, they are done as divinely needed, and they're very important and very real. But it's part of our ongoing uh, energetic preparation work, if you will. Thank you.
I found magic that you spoke about the reason, the source of the poverty and the slavery inside when you describe about the people that are still linked to the precious metals value versus our intrinsic value. And your word was the lie that humans are not already of equal value. So this is the cause. So to establish that, to end the poverty and the slavery in the world, there is only one way. It is divine-gpms.world, to remember to everyone. This is the replacement system. It is about the money and law. So this is what GPMS is changing. Then the reason of the poverty ends and the slavery in the world. Then we create abundance. Because I receive also a lot of questions how we create abundance, why we are not still living in abundance, what really happens. So this is what happened. The true divine law, do no harm law, was not implemented on earth. Right now we have the chance to implement do no harm law, universal laws, and finally to refer us to our intrinsic value and to have our rights and freedom recognized. Thank you so much for that. It is amazing. So the reason why the poverty exists in the world was, I would say, never told before GPMS. I found nowhere described like that. So to remember to everyone, it is because the lie that humans are not already of equal value created it. This is just amazing. And also something else that that I found about the emotion, because yes, we were told we are weak, be rational, don't let the emotion to go. But in reality, when the emotion is suppressed, it does not recognize the injustice. So this was another cover up. Extraordinary. Thank you so much for everything that your teachings and everything are amazing. I hope that the people may have a little bit more time between so-called Merry Christmas and the end of the year, that they may see GPMS. I know that right now they are shopping for gifts, but I hope that they will have more time and they may visit your Telegram account and to see from the beginning your post, because this is about our true freedom, and we are not free, and we cannot end the poverty and the slavery without divine-gpms.world. Serhi, I know that you are in Ontario. I know that it is about 40 million people right now that probably they are going to the shopping. Expensive gifts, because everything it is expensive in Canada. But in generally, how the people react? Are they still want to have more money and a beautiful, abundant life, or living still in this situation with long hours working, and they are not able to see their children during the day and everything that is happened today?
People in Ontario, I can only say about my friends and just families around me, and also myself. It's like everybody's struggling. Everybody working hard, lots of hours to pay the bills and stay like on a surviving mode. This Christmas, I don't know, presents not gonna be big and just very small, just a simple, yeah. And it's like big protest again is coming in Ontario again in January 10th in a Parliament Hill in Ottawa. So Canadians want to protest about immigration rules of Canada. They say it's too much like immigration in Canada from the eastern countries, from the Middle East, and they don't like it, and they just want to change it. And it's not about like people who's coming to the Canada. It's about the government giving them all the privileges like welfare and other like help, and the regular Canadians struggling to survive. And these people, the Canadians, don't like this kind of policy, and they go into the protest. So we'll see if I'm gonna go there. We'll see. I'm planning to, but it's like still like 3 weeks. So yeah, it's like people don't want to see the easiest way. It's like divine-gpms.world. They want to go to the protest. They want to work hard hours. And they just want to survive and don't look around. It's just so blind. I don't know. It's hard to speak with them. Some of them just get it right away, but mostly they are so like I don't know, so stuck in a old reality. Yeah, something like that. And a couple words about Ukraine. It's the same. It's even worse. It's like recently, like 200,000 soldiers just leaving the battlefields. They don't want to fight, but the government putting like a military units on the street and collecting more men to the front line. So every month, more 30,000 men going to the front line. They don't want to fight, and it's like nonsense. People don't want a war, and they're just being pushed to go to the war, and it's just crazy. And also, Europe has to pay for this kind of war. People in Europe have to struggle and give their last money to help Ukraine to fight the nonsense war. This is crazy. It's like, oh boy. So everything going to the like I don't know, big decisions. People have to step up and just making changes. It's only change. It's Divine-gpms.world. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much to remember about the protest on January 10 in Canada. This is true. Here in North Alberta, we have a little bit weather like minus 26. I do not know if they may keep still protesting. Probably in January, maybe minus 40. We'll see, because this is the North Canada. And also, yes, I know, we disclose all the time, we disclose problems and problems, but at the same time, the true solution does not appear. So on the messages, this is why I'm keeping all the time saying, please post the solution and refer to the solution all the time, because only to be empath because the other are in pain, only to speak about the problem was never enough, because this does not allow to move towards the solution, the true solution. And yes, I saw also over the internet the people speaking against the immigrants in Canada, like they believe that they do not have a place to live on earth because of the immigrants coming in Canada. I try to remember to the people that it's not about immigration. It is about 2 billion soulless people that they are made under the ground, and they use borders just to create false documents. Then they enter in countries, not only in Canada, everywhere in the world, and they are saying they are immigrants. So it's nothing about the Middle East. It's nothing about immigrants. It is all about the fact that the truth is not it's not out, like 2 billion soulless people are living on Earth, and it has nothing to do with any kind of immigration. And also the solution that they want to show on January 10, especially in Alberta, it is another politician, and this politician has to be minimum, has to have 3 generations as Canadian. So what can I say all about that? So basically, if you are to the 2nd generation in Canada, you cannot be even politician. And it is also what this is coming, and also this is coming from the United States too. You cannot work for the government of the United States or Canada if you are to the 2nd generation of the 1st generation as immigrant in Canada, or even the 3rd generation. So you need more generation as Canadian to be able to work, to be accepted to work for the government. So this is the supposed solution. So this is why I insist all the time to show Divine-gpms.world as the real solution, and let this, how can I say, this is part of the darkness. This is discrimination. The truth is not out. That is not about immigration. It is about soulless people. The people are not able to see who is the true darkness. And basically, it is all about information. So even that you may go there, when they will see your face, I do not know how they may let you to speak or not. You can take your chance anytime, but if you are rejected, don't suffer because this is how can I say, this is right now in Canada, and it is also all over the world, because the Romania group that we try also with the military for 3 years to come together with GPMS, they were not able to see GPMS by the end because of this kind of situation, same as in Canada, immigration, even that they knew about the soulless people and everything, they rejected GPMS solution, and they believe that they can do more. Unfortunately for them, right now they are almost dissolved, because nothing can stay, because it's not divine. Nothing can stay behind the darkness in these divine times. Only divine-gpms.org. But they are still the leaders. They are still not, they cannot see that. then they go on other lower than GPMS solution, and they try to implement that, but it's not working, and it is not about a huge number anyway. So don't let you impressed by that.
Yeah, and I wanna add a couple more words about this protest. This protest, what I think, what I see, they saying on a Facebook, was inspired by Bulgaria, because in Europe, Bulgaria did like a 2 or 3 days protest, and Canadians saying we can do the same. We can push the liberal government to step down. So we're gonna bring more people, even if the parliament is on a vacation. But we're gonna make a statement. We are here. We want them to go down. So we'll see. I don't know. Is this controlled protest, or is this like inspired by Bulgaria? But we'll see. For now, it is like that. Okay, thank you.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I believe it is a little bit also control. It's control for the people do not see the real solution. Divine-gpms.world. This is what I believe. What it is your opinion, Dave? Because this is Canada and you are the third generation Canadian. So it's like to be on there. So you can be a politician. I know that you do not need that, but it's just by their definition.
Well, all I would say is that there are some individuals who are joining us now to overturn the falsehood and corruption who were born on this planet basically with an Uzi. I mean, there's probably better ways to state that, but the falsehood revealed itself when I was barely into my teens. Getting tickets for victimless crimes. These are all things that we've accepted or largely accepted over the years. And anyway, the point is there's many of us who were born for this time to overturn the evil and falsehood on the planet. And that's just a very simple way of stating that the conversion is well on its way. 2.5 years ago, when I disassembled the Truth Center information that we had, because people basically are not, a lot of people are ignoring the truth. Immediately 2.5 years ago, when I did that, then of course GPMS World came into the picture, and I saw an interview with Brother Rick here. And so, yeah, everything is as it should be. The masses just need to know that how much pain do they wish to endure, because the solution's there, and we can cut it off within 24 hours if we so choose. So yeah, that's all I got to say for a third generation Canadian, or whatever you referred to me as. But yeah, it's all good.
So this third generation, it's also it's the same. For example, in Romania, to be politician, the new politician has to be the third generation Romanian. No, thank you. So I do not know how many generation I am on my family as Romania, but I do not care, because anyway, politics it is not my interest. But just to say, so this is everywhere in the world. It is not about Canada. It is also about Romania, the same story. And this is coming from the White Hats, United States. I knew this is coming for years. So this is the the wind that is coming from there. So this is part of the darkness, unfortunately. So our brother Everson, and also happy birthday during the winter solstice.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's a very hot day here, very hot.
Wow.
I think I have to agree with Brother Dave. But it don't matter the beast system. It doesn't matter if you remove one and put another in the same system. It doesn't matter. It has to go. but it's I think it's going, it's changing, and I'm very happy for that. And it's a very hot day today. Thank you.
Yes, you are right, brother. If we replace one politician with another one, the poverty and the slavery will never end. This is the truth. To end the poverty and the slavery, exactly as Rick presented the true reason, we need to recognize that the humans are equal. And to recognize that, we need implementation of universal laws. So this is not possible in another way. There is only one way. And we have to say thank you, God, that we are allowed finally since April 2021 to have this worldwide referendum, and we are moving forward. So divine-gpms.world, it is on the phase 1, gathering consents. And yes, we are moving forward because this is the true correct way to end forever the poverty and the slavery in the world. Agnes, what it is new in Germany?
Oh, so what I can add is that we have this topic about social welfare money, and the solution from the government was to change the name for the social welfare. So we have more people without money, people without place to live, or the rents also going high, and so it shows yeah, much more for the public, that there are no solution at the moment from this government which we have, and it would be great if they would step up like in Bulgaria and see it. Yeah, what you said also, it's I hope that we can implement the Divine-gpms.world soon, and for all of us. And yeah, much love to you all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Agnes. I know that there is a true sovereign group, very high in number in Germany, but I know that the government, the Germany government was killing some of the leader, and yeah, so I know what happened in the past. I hope that they may see our meetings and they may start to come anytime. Then you can join as a team. And they are almost on the same direction as GPMS, almost not exactly, but they are good. So this will be so great if you may find a way to be in touch with leaders from the sovereign groups, and maybe we are able to find some leaders from there. Then they may join in mass, so to create consensus for GPMS. And just I want to remember to everyone, this third generation individual, it is about the place where you are born. Then if not, you cannot become politician in what White Hats wants to create at this time. I'm speaking about the White Hats that it is infiltrated by the darkness. I'm not speaking about the people that they are involved in the White Hats, and they are the good ones, and there are so many in the good direction. I'm not saying good direction, I'm saying with a good heart, but at the same time, they are not moving in the good direction. So this is a problem there. And this is the reason that we see right now third generation that is basically asked as politician, that is basically part of the discrimination, has nothing to do with universal laws. And this game, it's playing also in Romania. We have people from the United States and Canada living in Romania, and even that they have desire to enter in politics or to say something, they are not recognized because they are immigrants. So this is huge. So living in Canada, you are excluded from the land. Living in Romania, you are excluded from the land if you are born in Canada. No, this is not. This is not the way. This is not universal law, and the planet it is set up with universal law. So this has nothing to do with new art. The people needs to recognize this is not part of the solution, and the politics it's a game of the darkness. If someone wants to add something for this meeting, yes, Rick.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. One thing with the immigration problem, if you will, in Canada and worldwide, again, as Brother Sergey said, I believe, as we know, that problem is because of the system. So again, the simple remedy worldwide is GPMS, and everyone can stay in their home country. Same as with the US. It's the capitalistic system, again, is the core problem of it. And the core solution is Divine-gpms.world. And it is the common sense, competent, logical solution. So, with all these standing up again in Canada to protest against immigration, it is fruitless. It's not doing anything to solve the problem. And again, the only thing that solves the problem is everyone consenting with GPMS to get it ratified, then everyone worldwide is happy. So it's nonsense again when we see this, but it's even more nonsensical when we give them the solution and they don't share it and they don't speak about the solution, the real solution. But nevertheless, that's part of the awakening, but it cannot continue much further because they need to realize by fighting to stop immigration, it's causing conflict and great tension that also begins to create wars again. So they need to know the trickery of this, that the problem is not solved by making protests against governments, if you will. The governments have a certain intention and mandate that is not in alignment with solving the problem. They create the problem. So again, GPMS is the solution. But with the Ukraine, I was listening to Brother Sergey there, um, which provided some more information that I didn't know. But what I understand with what Brother Sergey said is that many Ukrainians are getting called to go to the front lines again to fight, or I believe you said 200,000. When I look at these great numbers and I look at GPMS, I believe there's only about three from the Ukraine that has recognized the absolute solution for their freedom and their abundance, and also for Russia. So, again, why and where are these 200,000 Ukrainians? They don't want to fight, they're being forced to fight when we have the full solution for not only all Ukraine, for Russia, and all around the world. And again, it's nonsensical with all of the land that Russia has. It doesn't need the Ukraine and vice versa. Even the smallest country on earth does not need another country. With GPMS.world, they're all fully self-sustained in abundance, the complete prosperity, the freedom. So again, what is it, and perhaps this is the question, what is it that these Ukrainian people don't see divine GPMS? Like, is it being distributed there? Perhaps, that's one of the things. It's not being distributed there enough, the choice, because these people as well as I'll go to Afghanistan with perhaps about 9 million, I believe the numbers are, or could be higher, are in extreme poverty. Where are 9 million Afghanistan ones when I think we only have one from Afghanistan consented with GPMS right now when it is the full solution? But getting back to the Ukraine, is there anything better that we can do to get the message into the Ukraine? I don't speak Ukrainian, but what other ways can we get this message in there? When you look also, and I've noticed this, even in Canada, there are many Ukrainian background that are living there in Canada as well as, you know, perhaps around the world. Every country pretty much has the expats, if you will, that are living in other countries trying to make ends meet for their family back home. So, um, with Ukraine, how in the world can we get this simple message for them? And if all the Ukrainian people, you know, if the majority would just consent with GPMS, war is over. They have their freedom because they have their own value, their own money, and all of this. So again, GPMS is the solution for everything, but how to reach them? I await your reply, brother. Thank you.
Oh yeah, what I can say, it's like all of these years I sent the messages to this like a big speakers on a YouTube or on a Telegram. They have like audience more than 200 each. They're exposing the governments, but they don't want to see solution of GPMS. They saying it's like we need to bring proper like constitution law. Our constitution has to be like standing in a regulation because our government doesn't do the law properly. We have to change it. They just saying it's like they want to find their own way. I'm saying it's like the way already found. It's the way going from a Father God. It's like it's the best way. It's like, but they don't believe it. They have their own way and just stay so blind. And the regular people who, like I speak, they don't have a big audience, but they don't even them don't believe it. It's like hard to speak with the friends over there because they saying our first job is to win the war. What's the point to fight if you can end it instantly in 3 minutes? Everyone sign up to the Divine-gpms.world. That's all. But they want to fight. They saying God give us the land, God give us our Ukrainian language, and Russia want to take it from us, and we need to fight. This is crazy. Yeah, it's been so hardly propaganda over the Ukrainians. They just see the only way to fight, and those who already don't want to fight, they don't want to see the other solutions. They want to keep on exposing the governments and just hiding behind, I don't know, the other way. It's like, this is like so hard. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so the freedom movement in Romania, part of the freedom movement in Romania, it is also influenced by Putin and people from the Putin. Also in North America, we have Trump. In Asia, we have Xi, etc. So they are still the big player there, and they still influence the population and do not let the solution to be seen by the public. So we would like to see more people involved in mass distribution of divine-gpms.world. So please share the meeting today and please share in general the website and the message of divine-gpms.org, also Rick Facebook and also Rick Telegram account. And we let the people to know and we hope that they will join us. Then finally, the peace on earth will restore and also abundance and everything that the people need, and the poverty and the slavery will end forever. So nothing less than GPMS. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Yeah, and I'll just say that simply the people need to realize that the governments control their constitutions. So what this means is that the people have no constitution, and this also every constitution in every country worldwide is not worth the paper that it's written on because it's controlled by the governments, if you will. So it's a this is this is why they cannot. And Serbia was a prime example of that as well in the past, how they see even what's written in their constitution, it's overridden by governments worldwide that people keep in power, if you will. And so, nevertheless, we just keep saying the same old things over and over, and hopefully it falls on new ears that can hear it and also can see it, the absolute solution. So, I'm pretty well finished. Are we almost done for today, Sister Beatrice, or is there anyone else? I cannot see any questions on Facebook on the live. So if there's anything there,
No, there
Sister,
are
any
no
good.
more questions for today.
All right,
There are
that's
no more
good.
questions, yeah. So thank you so much to everyone that participated on the actual meeting. Especially for those that I know it is nighttime in their local area, but they are still coming and participate with GPMS. So thank you so much, Philippines and also India and all other people from all over the world, as Brazil, Germany, etc., and also Romania. And let's see you soon as in weekly meeting, and we hope that more people may come as representative GPMS, then mass dissemination may start. Thank you so much.
Excellent. So with that, we'll get ready. I'll end the Facebook live feed, and for everyone watching there, love, light, and gratitude. And we can stop the recording if you wish, Sister.